Hey everyone, welcome back to Photo Feedback Forum. I am your host and point giver outer guy, Dak. This channel is all about helping photographers learn what they can do to score a little bit higher in photo contests. I'll provide some insight as a photo judge and as someone who has had his photos judged in hundreds of salons. And if you'd like me to provide input on one of your photos, go ahead and send it to me at photofeedbackforum@gmail.com, and I'll throw it on the list, and maybe you'll see it in an upcoming episode. All right. Now, revisiting your own work is fun, it's embarrassing, it's humbling, it's also useful. In this episode, I'm going to run through some of my old images that for some reason I didn't delete upon first review. Let's see what can be learned from these. Now let's get focused right over here. We are starting off with a big cat. A big cat with big problems. Well, the cat doesn't have problems, but the photo certainly does. Let's get into it. Compositionally, what is wrong with this? Is it the giant rock here? Yeah, that's one of the things. Is it the slanted horizon? Yeah, that's not great. How about cutting off the paw down here? Yep, yep. Those three things, if those were corrected, this would be a much better image. So what could have been done to make this stronger? Simply zoom in and crop. Really, that's the interesting part of this cat right now, at least while it's just laying there. So that's what I should have focused on. Tight crop. Because I didn't, it gets a 7. Now the lighting is not great. It's an indoor cage, and it has whatever the shop lights are in it. So there's a weird color cast that's easy enough to fix in post, but I didn't. So lighting, not great. It's a 13. It is well exposed, so that works. And it is sharp, so that's another bonus. So why did I give it an 8? Well, it's going back to that color cast, and it is very distracting to have this reflection over here. Anytime you're shooting through glass, you got to get that lens right up to the glass. If you're going to be shooting a lot of photos in zoos or against glass, there are rubber lens hoods that you can put right against the glass, and that really cuts down on the glare and reflections. In this case, I didn't have it, and I have a mess over there. All right, impact. We're close to a big cat. A little interesting, but the cat's not doing anything. That also leads us to storytelling, also a 10. It's just laying there. It's a good looking cat, but it's not doing anything. No impact, no storytelling. I'm going to give it a 48. A little macro action. And do you have some thoughts on it? Yeah, me too. Compositionally, I'm going to give it a 17. I like the diagonal. That I think works well. The background is not too much of a problem. We'll get into one thing later. But compositionally, I think this is well done. Lighting, clearly it's based on the kind of catch lights here and on top of the wings. This was a midday shot. If you're going to be shooting midday, got to just bring a diffuser. As simple as that. That would have made the light significantly better. The flowers here are crazy bright. The lighting on the bug itself, yeah, it's decent, but it's overpowered by the yellow there. Even a post could have probably brought that down. Technically, yeah, 13, again, because of that. Brightness here, not crazy about this big blob back there. I think if the flowers were toned down and that blob was taken care of, it would look a little bit better. Impact, yeah, up close and personal, not too bad. I like the impact this one has. Storytelling, we're looking at 15. Again, it's just a bug sitting there, not doing anything, kind of boring. We are close to it. Again, somewhat interesting, but from a storytelling standpoint, not great. So all told, this one gets a 75. This one's working for me at first glance. Let's get into it. Compositionally, I'm going to give it a 17. I think the crop works. I like the diagonal here. Makes it a little more interesting. We got some action going in there as well. Let's move on to lighting. Lighting, nicely exposed. I think that works. The technical aspects, looks like the focus maybe not exactly where it needs to be. So that's a knock there. Impact, it's something you don't see every day. The action from the fire here, I think, is quite interesting. So I think that is impactful. And storytelling, I think, is okay. I think the whole image does work. It's going to give it an 83. This is a camouflaged birdhouse. Okay, what's wrong with it? It gets a 14. Why does it get a 14? I shot it in front of a very busy background. Should have maybe moved around to one side or the other to find an open space in the background. That would have helped. The lighting is flat. You can tell there's little snowflakes here, so there's not any direct sunlight here. So it's a very, very flat image. It's just not exciting. What could it have made it better? Maybe off-camera flash. Get just a little bit, add a little dimension to this. But I didn't, and it's flat and boring. Technically, yeah, it's sharp and captured the snowflakes. That's okay. But the background is really, really distracting. So I'm gonna move on. Impact. If there was a bird sticking its head out, that would have been more interesting and more of a story. I'm going to combine impact and storytelling here because they're the same. 10 points. Yeah, there's nothing going on. It's not impactful. There's no story here. This one gets a 62. On the plus side, I will give myself credit for going out when it was snowing. So there is that. All right. All right. Who discovered sky replacements, huh? Yeah, this guy did. This guy did. And just let it run with the default settings. It looks like it's not good, and the saturation is just through the roof. It's uneven. I'm getting ahead of myself. Compositionally, I think this is good. I like this coming through. Nice reflection. I think the balance between the bridge and the space over here works. Let's get on to the lighting because that's not working. It was probably a bland day, and I thought, oh, this will boost it up. And at the time, I was probably excited about it. It's like, oh, here's a blank sky. Let me use this new tool, and yeah, here's the results. And why I decided to boost the Saturation, no idea. It's it's normal looking over here, and here to here it is just through the roof. So very uneven. That gets us over to technical. 8, I think, is even being generous. Yeah, it going back, this probably could have worked um, as a mono. We'll look into that a little bit later. Uh, yeah, yeah, mono, black and white, grayscale. That makes it a little more palatable. But that's not what we originally had. We have this. So impact, I'm going to give it a 14. Good placement, good area, decent story. I like where the perspective is. Again, I like the angle coming through, leading this down. We do have some good line of trees here. It's just the technical stuff really really screwed this one up. I'm going to give it a 67. All right, now we're going to end with a quote. Don't pack up your camera until you've left the location. Well, I learned this lesson last year. I hosted a photo walk at a carnival, and with a number of other photographers. Storm clouds are rolling in. I packed up my stuff, and another photographer did not, and got a pretty cool shot of some rides with good storm clouds in the background. And I did not get that shot because I had already packed up my stuff. So, learn a lesson. Keep your stuff out until you are on the way home, because you never know when a shot is going to make itself show up. Anyway, that's all we have for this episode. If you'd like me to take a look at one of your images, you can send an email to photofeedbackforum@gmail.com. Take a look at another episode. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.